first of all, can you tell me, can you introduce yourself in Shifu? Can you let everyone know who you are and what you teach?
Okay. So, hi everyone. I'm from China, Wudang Mountain. My name is Zhongxue Chao. I'm the 15th generation of Wudang Kung Fu Sanfeng School. I started martial arts 30 years ago. I teach in Wudang Mountain and teach in United States most of the time. So before the virus, I go back and forth in United States and in Wudang Mountain. Right now, since last year, the whole year I didn't go out, so the whole year I stay on Wudang Mountain. So
thank you, Shifu. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how old are you when you started learning in Wudang?
Started in Wudang was 16 when I came to Wudang.
16. And before you came to Wudang, had you studied any martial arts before?
I did when I was 6. I started little, just about a month, with my uncle. Is my shifu.
Mm. So when you were 6, he was teaching you Wudang style Kung Fu and Tai Chi?
Yeah, when I 16, I came to Wudang to learn with my shifu. It's a Wudang style, yes.
Yeah. And when you were 16, was that quite a big challenge to start learning Wudang martial arts when you were 16?
Yeah, 16 is not too bad. It's pretty good. It's much better than I started 20 something. So teenager is much better.
Yeah. Okay. And as you said, before the virus, you were teaching students both in China and in the United States.
Yeah.
What has been different between teaching Westerners and teaching Chinese people?
Different. Before I came to United States, was teach the Chinese student most time. So the teenager or young people teaching Kung Fu. So the big difference is the discipline. Is Chinese students have better discipline. They can teach. It's much easier to teach. The discipline is much better than when I teach in United States. But when I teach later, I teach adults like over 40, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. Then I found out the discipline is better than foreigners. The foreigners is better discipline than Chinese. Really? Yeah. Because I compare the foreigners come to Wudang, maybe because their time is limited for them and they treasure the time, only a few days here, so they train harder than Chinese students.
Yeah. Do you have to teach Westerners in a different way to the way you teach Chinese?
Teach foreigners different way. It seems easier, more basic because of the language. So Chinese people basically they can understand it better. They have their foundation. They have the language, the culture. They can understand better. It's easier to speak a few words, can have the idea. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then, how long have you been teaching foreigners?
Since 2000, year of 2000.
Yeah. And So tell me about last year. So in 2020, when were you teaching foreigners in Wudang last year at all, or were there no foreigners last year?
Last year, no foreigners.
Yeah.
I teach some Chinese students only. Even Chinese students is less than 10, so it's a few.
Yeah. So what was that like for you when the students stopped coming because of the virus? Was that difficult to run a school?
Yeah.
And teach?
It's because all my classes is switched to online. I spend a lot time and prepare a lot time in online teaching, online programs.
Yeah.
So very different.
So yeah. So did you know straight away that you needed to teach online? Was this and was it an easy decision to make?
The decision because the last year, in the spring, I have a group they already booked to come to my school. So then the time they cannot come, so I have to do something online. So that's how I start with that group. So same time I open the group to public.
Yeah. Nice. And so you've been teaching people in the United States and in Europe since last summer.
Yeah, Europe come here, yes.
And have you have the students been the same students that you've taught in previous years, or are they new students who you're teaching online?
Teaching online, the most is a familiar student, and yeah, the older student most time. Yeah, some new.
Yeah.
Maybe 1/3 new.
Yeah. And what has been different about teaching online compared to teaching face to face?
That's actually compare face to face because I teach in United States. If I stay in California, so stay all the year long. Then I go out other states for teach weekend seminars. So actually it's just 2 days, two days weekend seminars. So actually it's short time for them, 2 days. I teach sometimes the whole form is 2 days. Now I teach online. I expand the form for like 3 months, 4 months. Actually, it's more detailed to teach online. But yeah, the information is of course much better than face to face. I can get more information.
So is it kind of, in a way, is it closer to staying with you for a long time and learning the forms in a detailed way?
More detailed. Actually, more detailed. Yes.
Yeah. And has there been any challenges? Is anything harder for either you or for the students in learning online?
It's harder than the online, yes, and it's different. Yeah, it's a little harder than online, yes.
Yeah. What can help? What do you recommend to students if they're learning online? What can help their learning?
If they can if they repeat what I taught, that will be help a lot.
Yeah. So lots of practice in between sessions. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've got lots of you're doing more teaching in 2021. You have a big program planned for your teaching. Can you describe what's coming up for you? What you're planning to teach this year?
This year, after the 太乙玄门剑, 太乙玄门 sword, I will teach the Fuchen, the horse tail whisk.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's then I want to start a young people of kung fu basic training, like the 基本传. I want to start that. Yeah. After Fujian, actually, is I want to teach the 8 immortal staff too.
Wow.
And for Tai Chi Qigong, I want to start at Tai Chi 108.
Nice.
Yeah, those. And actually, when we finish the Tai Chi 28 and 5 and Qigong, we need to review those.
Yeah.
Review those for a while.
Yeah.
So there's a fill up the 2021.
Yeah.
2021.
And what are your what do you think will happen in the future for the rest of this year? Do you think it'll be possible for students to come to China again in person, or do you think we'll have to wait a longer time?
I think for 2021, it will be the same. Cannot travel. Yeah, I think this way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's strange and difficult times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In China, are Chinese students coming more in this year? Can Chinese students travel to Wudang in 2021?
Then more because the weather is when it get colder is more strict. When you get a summer hotter is better.
Yeah, yeah. And the last question I'd like to ask, let me just check if I've gone through all the questions. Yeah, if someone gets the virus or they're ill and then they are recovering, what kind of exercises or practices do you recommend to help people build their energy back?
We don't have a specific exercise. We should say keep the Tai Chi and the Qigong. It helps us keep health, keep the circulation, the Qi flow better.
Yeah. Are there some types of Qigong that are easier to do if someone just has been ill and they want to get back to practice? What is the first kind of Qigong that you would recommend they start?
The easier one will be the 8-piece brocade.
Yeah. And the you taught the 8 pieces of brocade last year, and people can access recordings of that on your website, right?
Yeah, the classes are recorded.
Yeah. And I know.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. I've had some students who had coronavirus last year and used Baduanjin to recover. It was really important for them. Yeah. Yeah, really good. Great. That's really useful. I think and if anyone is planning to come to Wudang maybe next year and they want to keep training this year and but they can't go to a class because of restrictions because of coronavirus, they can only train at home. What do you recommend to as a training program for them?
For training program, recommend the keep focus the one by one the form like after the sword, then just learn deeper, more detail, more practice.
Yeah.
Not learn 2 forms at the same time. If you are very experienced, yeah, it's okay to start 2 forms at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So just keep learning more things, keep practicing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. That's really useful. Thank you for your time, Bing Shifu.